All the time I was growing up, I thought you were about the single greatest person in this community.
Faith, I'm sorry. I just don't have the time.
I admired you. I liked you. I even loved you. Now, that may not give me any right to interfere, but I am so angry that I do not care.
I don't plan on discussing Jill with anyone, including you.
Well, that's just fine, because you don't have to discuss anything. All you have to do is listen. And right now, Frank, you are behaving so badly that I can't...
You don't know the whole story.
I don't know the whole story. Don't you sit there and be condescending to me. I don't know the whole story. I know a whole lot more than you do. Because I was there from the first day that Jill found out that the baby was Seneca's and not yours. And it's been terrible, Frank. And I also know that her major concern throughout this whole horrible business has been for you.
So concerned that she lied her head off for months, huh?
Jill never wanted to lie to you. She had just found out about the baby when Delia pushed her and she fell and hit her head. Now, she was unconscious when you came to the hospital, found out she was pregnant, and assumed that the baby was yours. Now, I could have told you, but I didn't want to take the responsibility. That wasn't any of my business. By the time she came to, you had informed your whole family, except for Delia, that you were the father.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I was the only possibility.
You were fighting for little John, and Jill didn't want to tell you then because she didn't want to do anything that would alert Delia to her pregnancy so that she could use it against you in the custody hearing.
Well, she used it against me anyway, although she was just as wrong as everybody else.
Once that Maeve and Johnny got custody, Jill wanted to tell you. I was the one that suggested that she wait. I was the one that said that she should get her strength back and recover before she said anything.
So she let me take her back to her apartment.
Yes. And I suppose that's the one thing you can criticize her for allowing you two to have a week together, alone, and to be loving the way you've always wanted. Seneca was not a part of the picture then, Frank. I think you should keep that in mind.
Look, it was a lovely week. But it doesn't change a thing.
Do you remember the afternoon that you and Barb were arguing in here and Jill came by outside?
Yeah.
Well, it was that argument alone that kept her from telling you. She knew you were entitled to the truth, which is why she came by that day. But while you and he were yelling at each other, she was outside having the first signs of a miscarriage.
So she thought if she was going to lose the baby, she probably wouldn't have to tell me at all.
Yes.
Well, Seneca knew. She had no qualms about telling him.
Oh, she only told Seneca because she had to. After he had talked to Dr. Wolf and was asking her point-blank questions.
Well, maybe my mistake was I didn't have the presence of mind just to simply ask her if she was carrying my baby or not.
Oh, boy. You're really the victim in this, aren't you, Frank? That's the way you see it. And maybe that explains why that you can only see Jill. You don't see her as the one who's been suffering for months. Struggling with her sense of responsibility for an unborn baby, with Seneca on her neck from one side and her love for you pulling her from the other, without any real help from anyone.
Oh, she had all kinds of help. She had you, she had Seneca, certainly.
But she didn't have you. She didn't have you. And after all that she has given you over the last few years without asking for anything in return, for that one reason and that reason alone, don't you think you can try a little harder than you've been trying so far?
I don't think it's all that one-sided, Faith.
Well, I do. I think you owe it to her, Frank. Jill loves you. You can't deny that. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
We're a long ways away. I hope it was about me.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking about Frank.
This week,
this is my life. Nobody's gonna take it away from me.
his family learns the truth.
This man is not our father. He's our father's twin brother.
Now the real Todd Manning
I lost 8 years with my kids because of him!
wants justice.
I'm gonna kill him.
Watch One Life to Live, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 9 on SoapNet.
Jason, look out!
Happening now on General Hospital.
I think I know what's causing Jason's seizures. Do you remember Jason's original accident?
Where are you?
The first accident made him a ruthless killer.
Jason!
No one knows what will happen this time.
Wait, you wake up a different person?
Who will Jason be?
Say something.
General Hospital, weekdays on ABC, weeknights on SoapNet.
When you come to eHarmony, I can promise you, we sincerely care about you. I've worked my entire life and counseled thousands of couples to figure out what makes great relationships. And we'll bring all that experience to look out for you every step of the way. Experience the difference of a site that really cares about helping you find a wonderful relationship. Visit eHarmony today and review your compatible matches free.
All systems prepare to engage.
Captain, unidentified object, detergent chamber.
It's a Cascade Complete Pack. The best of Cascade powder and gel combined in one vessel. Brilliant.
We're gonna need it. Lasagna pan, lower rack.
Fire.
Conquer tough foods and greasy messes.
Wow.
Yeah!
Cascade Complete Packs. Love it or your money back.
Kellogg wants to help make kids happy one tummy at a time. Because 9 out of 10 kids don't get the fiber they need. Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, and Frosted Mini Wheats have good-for-you fiber in every yummy bowl. They're the cereals your kids love and the fiber their tummies love, which makes for a whole lot of happy. Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, and Frosted Mini Wheats, a good source of fiber and made with whole grain. Kellogg's makes fiber fun.
Love the feel and fragrances of products from body and bath shops? With Olay, get what you love at half the price with new Olay body collections. Tantalizing fragrances and Olay moisturizing ingredients that transform lathering into lavishing. Olay body collections.
I wanted to look great. Xenodrone helped me lose 50 pounds. I lost 31 pounds.
I lost 40 pounds.
And I lost an incredible 37 pounds. Lose weight and look great with Xenodrone.
Well, I sooner let myself in for that one. Do things look any better in the light of day?
Not really.
Well, you've been involved with Frank a long time.
I suppose that's why it hurts so much. That and the sense that something is ending that shouldn't be. I keep thinking that there has to be a solution somewhere, if only...
If only Frank were a different person.
That isn't what I was going to say, Seneca.
Jill, I have to tell you, I'm hoping it's over for good. Frank Ryan is the wrong person for you. It would only be self-destructive to take up with him again.
I don't agree with you about Frank. I don't agree that it would be destructive for me or for Frank or for anybody else that if we were together. And I also accept the fact that you can't understand that.
See, you have never really thought this thing through. All you've done is...
Seneca, I love Frank.
Loving is not enough. And love doesn't last if too many other things are wrong.
Like what?
You're gonna have a baby that Frank has to resent. All right, now what happens? What are you gonna do if he agrees to marry you? You're gonna give him responsibility for bringing up that baby?
Not the entire responsibility.
Oh, good. Because it certainly wouldn't be acceptable to me. All right, then, Jill, what are you gonna do instead? You're gonna be the stepfather, and I'm gonna be the father?
I suppose something like that.
So, that means that the baby is going to be raised in Frank's house, but I am going to be making all the major decisions, huh? Now, you know that has to be a source of constant trouble and terrible for the baby.
Seneca, you're making this harder than it has to be.
No. One of us has to be realistic. Now, what happens if Frank wants something for the baby, I want something else?
I don't know.
All right. Okay, suppose we start at the beginning again. Now, would it be acceptable to you to give me the baby to bring up? I mean, you'd certainly have time for Frank then.
You know, this isn't just your baby. It's my baby, too. And I'm very aware of that, and I can't imagine giving him or her up.
You could have other babies?
But I want this one. Seneca, this little person inside of me means a lot to me. Besides which, this baby wouldn't stand a chance with you alone. You would want to control its every breath.
Listen, I quite agree. Oh, it's a trait that I'm constantly trying to control. I know that another presence would be very, very helpful. So, what are we going to do, Jillian?
I don't know.
Well, consider this. The break with Frank has been made. Now, wouldn't it be better to just endure the sadness you feel right now, let it burn itself out? Instead of stirring up a situation that eventually has to be nothing but pain for everybody concerned?
I understand what you're saying, Seneca. And in my head, I even agree more or less. But the point is, I miss Frank terribly.
Because I can't stop thinking about Jill with Seneca.
But Jill never loved Seneca.
Oh.
She never has and never did. When they went to the beach house that one time, it was an act of compassion because of all that Seneca had been through. It was an attempt on Jill's part to take her life in a new direction, away from you. Because you had gone back to Delia, forever for all she knew.
Then why didn't she tell me that they were lovers? I asked her.
Because I don't think that she ever thought of Seneca as a lover. And possibly because she didn't think it was any of your business. She didn't ask you if you and Delia were lovers.
Oh, come on, Faith.
Look, I know that you're hurt and angry, and so is Jill. But after all you've been together for so long, and after all these years, and there's so much more you can have together, I don't think you should give up now. At least make the effort. Because if you don't, it could be over forever. And in my opinion, that would be terribly unfair to Jill. And awfully sad for you.
Honey, come on, take it easy. Take it easy. All right, relax.
Bobby, it's much worse than I thought it would be.
Well, I warned you about that. What happened?
Pat doesn't want to marry me.
You can't blame him for that. He wants to marry Faith.
No, he doesn't. He's just trying to get away from me.
Delia, if he's going to all this trouble, don't you think he's trying to tell you something?
No. No, he wants to marry me. He just thinks I got pregnant on purpose.
You did. You told me that.
Bobby, just keep quiet, okay? Please, I don't want anybody to hear.
Well, if he's got it all figured out, what difference does it make? What matters now is what you do about the situation.
Look, Bobby, we're gonna be married because there's nothing else that Pat can do. Now, just don't tell anyone that I planned it, okay?
It doesn't make any difference what I say or not.
No, but it does. Please, just don't tell Pat, okay? Don't tell him I got pregnant in Boston, okay? And that I planned it, because it's gonna end everything. I'm gonna lose my place in this family. I'm not gonna have a father for my baby, and everybody's gonna be miserable.
There's gonna be a lot of misery if the family and Faith find out you got pregnant by Pat.
All right, they'll be miserable for a while. They'll understand. I'm sure eventually
Oh,
they
Delia,
will.
come on. It's not as simple as that. Now, you won't leave town?
No.
All right, then we're right back where we started from. The only answer is an abortion.
No. I said no.
It's the only way out. You gotta think about it now.
You know, I wonder what Maeve and Johnny would say if they could hear you.
Well, they would disapprove, I'm sure.
Disapprove, Maeve would never let that happen.
I know the idea would kill Maeve, but you getting pregnant by Pat while you're still married to his brother and the pain that means for Faith, I think that'd bother her a little bit too, wouldn't it?
Well, what about my pain?
Get the abortion. There won't be any pain for anybody. You got Frank's settlement to get you started in life. $15,000. I think that ought to provide a little bit of comfort.
You know, Bobby, You know, I could never kill Maeve and Johnny's grandchild.
Come on, this isn't a child anybody's going to rejoice in. It's a lot of pain, a lot of worry. Use your head.
I'm using it.
Well, you don't act like it.
I'm thinking. You know, Maeve would find out.
No, she wouldn't. How could she? You just go downtown, you make the arrangements.
Oh, yeah, but Maeve would still find out. I'm sure she would, and I think that would be an awful thing for her. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Bobby, look, just promise me something.
What?
If I look into getting an abortion, you promise me that you're not going to tell Pat I planned this?
Yeah. You got a deal, kid.
Okay. See, I do pay attention to you. And I love you. And I'm really grateful to you.
Hey, come on.
No, really, you're a big help to me. I don't know, before I was half out of my mind, but now I'm really calmed down and I know exactly what to do. Thank you, Bobby. Thanks.
New relationships can be amazing,
This is where I belong.
but this week,
That was freaking unbelievable.
they're downright jaw-dropping.
How would you like to take on a partner? I'm in.
The twists keep coming.
You don't know the whole story.
Watch All My Children, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 8 on SoapNet.
If you're one of the millions of Americans without dental insurance, ask yourself these 3 important questions. 1, does your company not offer dental insurance? 2, are you self-employed? 3, are you retired? If you answered yes to any of these, it's important that you call Encore Dental today. Encore Dental is real insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed. You'll receive up to 100% coverage for preventive care and up to 50% on basic and major procedures. Encore Dental can help keep your teeth healthy, which may prevent infections that lead to heart disease and stroke. And with the high cost of procedures, it makes sense to have great coverage. Choose your level of benefits. There are no claim forms to fill out and no waiting for reimbursement. So go ahead, review it for 30 days.
Call 1-800-671-6811. Call now and save an additional 10%.
Call now and save an additional 10%.
This week,
This is my life. Nobody's gonna take it away from me.
his family learns the truth.
This man is not our father. He's our father's twin brother.
Now the real Todd Manning
I lost 8 years with my kids because of him!
wants justice.
I'm gonna kill him.
Watch One Life to Live, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 9 on SoapNet.
Join us.
Join us
Join us. Join us.
at the table.
Get ready for The Chew, a new talk show where everyone brings something to the table. Fantastico. Join The Chew, weekdays, coming Monday, September 26th, only on ABC.
Now, let me see if I have this straight. Delia Reed Ryan, whom I represented in the recent custody hearing, is your sister-in-law. You are married to her husband's sister, Mary.
You've got it. The family was very impressed with your handling of the custody hearings.
Well, I thank you.
You also have a unique qualification of being the only divorce lawyer about whom I've ever heard anything good.
I won't thank you for that.
If you've no objection, I'd like you to represent me.
Well, suppose you tell me what it is you want.
I'd like to get an annulment of my marriage to Mary.
I see.
That's promising.
What is it?
You're the first person who hasn't tried to talk me out of it.
Mr. Finnelly, are you here to seek my help in ending your marriage or in continuing it?
Ending it. The diocese has informed me that I can't begin proceedings towards a church annulment until I've begun a civil action first.
Yes, that's correct.
I believe that I may have grounds for an annulment, which would be easier for Mary.
And the grounds?
Fraud. I deliberately withheld the fact that I didn't want children before we were married. One of the main reasons I'm doing this is that Mary became pregnant without consulting me.
I don't quite understand you. You are the father of her child.
Yeah. So, what about the annulment?
Well, in a church annulment, the person who commits the act of fraud may sue for annulment. But in the civil courts, only the person against whom the fraud is committed may sue. You can only sue for annulment if you can prove your wife guilty of fraud. There are other grounds, of course.
Mary hasn't done anything wrong. I suppose that means a divorce, huh?
Do you have grounds for a divorce?
Well, we have different ideas about things. I'm not the husband for her. I want to remove myself from her life as quickly as I can.
For your sake or for hers? Now, please be honest with me. This is very important.
For hers, really. For mine, too.
Does your wife share in this decision?
No?
Will she fight it?
Well, she wants me back. She wants me to be husband, father, pater familias. I can't play that game.
Mr. Finnelly, in a situation like this, we generally build our case on what the law characterizes as cruel and inhuman treatment. Now, do you think you can bring proof into the court that would substantiate such a claim?
Maybe. I suppose I could.
Let me suggest this. Suppose you make me a list of any incident that you think might be of possible use to us. And we'll see what we have. But bear in mind that if your wife opposes us, things may be very difficult. On the other hand, if she decides not to contest...
Let's get going on it, and I hope that when she realizes I'm serious, she may give up.
Very well. I'll draw up a general complaint. There won't be any need to cite any specific incidents. And we'll be able to move things along quite quickly.
You're very efficient.
Well, I'm fast, but in this situation, I'm not sure if I can be very efficient. There's too much still in your wife's hands.
In that case, we may have a struggle. Mary's not at all like Delia. She's a very strong-minded lady.
That's curious. I rather thought Delia was a fairly strong-minded lady herself, in her own way, of course.
I guess she is. Mary's worth 1,000 of her.
I'm sorry, Mr. Finnelly, if I'm going to disappoint you and sound like all the others, but after a remark like that, are you quite certain you want to go on with this?
Miss Burney, I'm going to say this once, and I hope you won't ever have to ask me about it again. I love my wife very much, and that's why I have to do this.
Next, spend some time in Genoa City with the Young and the Restless. Later, see who's stirring up trouble in Pine Valley on All My Children. Only on SoapNet.
Jason, look out!
Happening now on General Hospital.
I think I know what's causing Jason's seizures. Do you remember Jason's original accident?
Why are you? The first accident made him a ruthless killer.
Jason!
No one knows what will happen this time.
Wait, you wake up a different person?
Who will Jason be?
Say something.
General Hospital, weekdays on ABC, weeknights on SoapNet.
Need a vacation?
From cleaning?
Try new Scrubbing Bubbles Active Scrub with Extended Clean. It's the cream cleanser with the water-activated formula that cleans for up to 4 days. We work longer, so you don't have to.
SC Johnson.
Some spots you just gotta love. But my spots, I just had to lose.
Garnier introduces the Clinical Dark Spot Corrector, a new daily moisturizer powered by pure, potent vitamin C.
It targets dark spots, age spots, even acne marks, breaking them up, lifting them away. I use it all over, every day, to help prevent new spots from surfacing.
So effective, 82% saw dark spot reduction.
This skin, I love. See spots run.
New Dark Spot Corrector from Garnier Skincare.
Take care.
Good grief, Mom. You gonna clean that thing or wrestle it?
Well, it's not going to clean itself.
Want me to get that?
No, thank you. Beaver's all I need. Look at that. Still in one piece.
Yeah, so's the towel.
Grab a roll and try it on your toughest mess.
A marriage made in heaven is hell for everyone else.
Dad's new marriage could send her back to the bottom.
Stay away from my son.
Say I do to The Young and the Restless tonight at 7 on SoapNet.
People are talking about General Hospital's Laura Wright and her recent Emmy win. Octavia Evans posted on Facebook, "Congrats, it is well deserved." Michelle Taylor adds, "I love Carly on the show. She makes every episode eventful." And Kim Lally agrees, "She's a terrific actress." People are talking about General Hospital weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.
Rumpelstiltskin!
I know why you're here.
The Queen has created a powerful curse. Time will stop and we will be trapped. Everything we love will be ripped from us for all eternity. No more happy endings.
What can we do?
The infant growing inside you. On her 28th birthday, the child will return. This is our only hope.
I'd like a room. Welcome to Storybrooke.
It has begun.
ABC's Once Upon a Time, Sundays this fall on ABC.
Hello, Frank. Well, for the first time in months, I finally understand why you've been so concerned over Jill's condition.
I don't blame you for being angry. But if you came here looking for a fight, why don't you have it with me? Jill doesn't need any more trouble.
I still don't consider what goes down between me and Jill any of your business. I'm not here to deal with you.
Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to, Frank, whether you want to or not.
You really can't keep out of this, can you? I'll try again. This is personal, private. It's between me and Jill, and when we've worked our things out, then we can take up the problem of the baby and you. Now, are the words I'm using small enough?
There's one thing you better understand. I'm in love with Jill, and the baby she's carrying is terribly important to me. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for her and that child.
That's curious. Yesterday, I would have said exactly the same thing.
There's one other reason why you're going to have to deal with me, Frank. As a doctor, I'm concerned about what happens after you go through that door.
Jill's all right, isn't she?
For the moment, yeah, it seems that way. But a hysterical emotional scene certainly isn't going to do her any good. And there's an outside chance that it just may harm her or the baby.
I won't harm her.
Won't you, Frank? Won't you? You sure about that? She's in there now miserable because you walked out on her last night. Something you've been doing on and off for the past 5 years, if I have the story straight. You've picked her up and set her down at your own convenience.
That's your version, buddy.
Jill is an incredibly loving and giving person. She's let you put her second to just about everything else in your life. You walked out on her when you went back to your wife. Another time, congressional nomination. She doesn't come second in my life, Frank. Not now, not ever.
You know, this conversation is getting silly. If there's any one person in this hospital whose ego rides over everyone in this
path... Last night, you walked out on her for the 3rd time, and that is all you get.
Okay, kindly get out of my way.
You're not going to leave her alone?
I'm going in to see her now, if that's what you mean.
What about the child, Frank? You mind telling me what your claim is there?
Claim? I have no claim.
Well, good. At least we agree about something.
We do indeed.
Be clear about this. That is my baby. And I'm going to raise it. With Jill if she'll have me, without her if she won't. But you're not going to bring up my child.
I don't want to bring up your child. Okay. So there aren't any more of these misunderstandings. Why don't the two of us go in there together, okay? I think from now on, the three of us should know what's going on.
Seems to make sense. Jillian, you have a visitor.
Hello, Frank. Are you here to pick up where we left off?
In Port Charles, revenge is a priority, relationships are disposable, and good medical care is a necessity. Keep up with this fast-paced city with an all-new episode of General Hospital, weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.